Hello again. Well, this is the fourth one. I know I said I was going to do 3, but then I realised I missed something off. So this is the fourth video. We're going to do another little change to the ZX81. And this involves 2 things. So let's take off the back of the circuit board first. Okay, and very carefully disconnect the keyboard. There we go. Right, the 2 things that we're going to do is we're going to replace the voltage regulator with a modern switching type one, and the other thing we're going to do is replace the capacitors, which are here. There's only 3. They're all the same, 22 UF at 16 volts, and I've bought some 22 UFs at 25 volts. The voltage is fine as long as it's more than what it says they're the same or more. It's absolutely fine as long as the 22 UF is the same, which they are. So we're going to replace these 3 with these black ones. And the only thing that we need to make sure that we do on these is to make sure that the ground or the negative is the right side. So you see the arrow pointing there. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see. So the arrow pointing there is to the ground or the negative, so that's that one there. There's a little sort of shoulder there on the capacitor, which this one also has just there, so you know which is a positive. And as you can see there, there's the branding for the ground coming off this side. So the ground is on the right on this one, the ground's on the right on this one, and the ground's on the right on that one as well. Right, first thing we need to do is to get the solder off the existing capacitor, so we're going to do this one here first. So it's always best just to throw a little bit of fresh solder on it. Like so, and then we'll use the desoldering pump to get rid of the solder. There we go. And we'll just straighten those legs up a little bit. It's easy to go through the hole. There we go. There we go, that's one out. There we go. Just check the holes, make sure the holes are okay. Yep, they're fine. Got our new capacitor, and if you look on the board you'll actually see, if I can zoom in, you can actually see there's a plus mark just there, look. So we know that this end here is a plus and this end's a ground. So I'll put that in. There we go. And I can solder that in place. Right, got that done. scratch all the legs off. And there we have it, that's the first one done. So I'm going to do exactly the same with this one and this one up there as well. Sorry, you never saw that. There we go. This one and this one. Well, there we go. That's the three capacitors changed. That one, and that one. So I think the best thing we need to do now is just to give it a quick start up to make sure that everything's working okay before we replace the voltage regulator here. So before we do that, let's just make sure our bench is clean and the actual circuit board itself hasn't got any bits of solder that could cause a short. So that's cleaned off. And we'll plug in the power and the signal. Right, we'll just switch off the desk lights. There we go. And we'll turn the camera so you can see the screen. Okay, and if we turn it on, now don't forget it takes a few seconds for the prompt to appear because we've upgraded the RAM, and there it is. So great, that's working okay. So the next thing we need to do then is the voltage regulator here. So this is the voltage regulator that we're going to use. One of these, just a modern voltage regulator. It's what's called a switching. You may ask why we're replacing the working one with this one. Well, the older type, this type, tends to convert a lot of the power into heat as it's doing the conversion. That's why it's got this heat sink here. Well, this doesn't produce anything like the heat that this does, so this is more efficient for the modern circuit board. It's a lot cleaner as well. The power's a lot cleaner as well. So we're going to remove this and replace it with this. Just put that just to one side for a minute. We'll get our screwdriver and we'll just remove this. I'm just holding the bolt on the underside. There we go. Right, so I'll put the washer and the bolt back on. Right, so there we go, that's the heatsink removed. So what we need to do now is remove the solder from here so we can remove the regulator. Right, just as before, we'll use our desoldering pump and our soldering iron. We'll just pop on a bit of solder onto here. There we go. I'll bring my magnifying glass down so I can see what I'm doing. good. That's got them nice and clean. Should be able to lift that out as well. There's a bit of solder on this side, so let's see if we can clear that off. That looks better. Right, that was a bit temperamental, but we got there in the end. So let's get the new regulator. Now it's not going to go immediately in. What we've got to do is just slightly bend these pins out, just very slightly. Here we go, and then that should slide in. Feels like one of the holes is blocked. Yeah, it is. Right, let's see if that goes in better now. Nope. Still feels like one of the holes is blocked. Is it just because of that? There we go. There we go, that's got it. That's it. Now, as you can see, it's just sat slightly proud of the circuit board, but that's absolutely fine. And we can solder that in place. Great, that's that little job done. So what we don't need to do now, we don't need the heatsink. That's got that in place, soldered in place, there we go. So it sits slightly proud, but that's absolutely fine. Right, let's make sure that the bench is clean. Make sure that our circuit board's clean. Switch the monitor back on again. Power and signal. Right, let's turn the bench lights off again, and we'll turn this so you can see the monitor. And we'll switch it on. And don't forget there's a slight delay, but after a few seconds there's the K, so we know that the voltage regulator is working correctly. There we go. Well, we've done quite a bit to this ZX81, haven't we? We've replaced the TV modulator here. We've upgraded the RAM just there. We've replaced the keyboard just there. We've recapped it there and changed the voltage regulator there. Yeah, quite good that. You'll notice I've added a small heatsink here to the ULA. That's just to help it with the heat. But there you go. That's one working and upgraded ZX81. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoy what I do. Please subscribe if you do. Please give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon.